As the movie opens, we witness a girl wandering around the beach. She notices a suitcase there, and as soon as she opens it, the scent within makes her want to throw up. A sliced hand of someone emerges from it. The story now jumps forward 10 years, and we will find out here whose hand it was, what happened to it, and why. Later, we see Melanie, a young woman who studied nursing while working as a waiter in a hotel. Bill, a man who had previously worked as a server with her, approaches her one day and requests a date for supper. Melanie was also aware that he was already has a friend, but she prepares to go with him anyhow. They play games and spend a lot of time in the casino. And he thought she was extremely lucky to have him because he was making a lot of money playing the games. But Melanie also began to adore Bill. She claims that Bill is not at all good when she discusses this with her pal. He is already married and speaks to everyone in such a way that Melanie was not yet prepared to comprehend anything. She claims that because of my love, he will change. The years went so swiftly, and now Melanie and Bill share a home. One day, Melanie is visited by a woman who is none other than Bill's wife. "My husband is not a good man," she claims. Melanie was not ready to listen to her when she said that he cheats on them with every girl and traps them in his love. Later, Bill also comes there, and they both beg that woman to go from there, because after a few days they were going to get married. Likewise, 5 years go by in this manner, and both of them had 2 children. Nurse Melanie worked in a top-notch medical facility. Bill worked as a teacher at the university. Their lives were going great, but Melanie had to move because she didn't have enough money to stay in the house she had. Bill had not yet abandoned his regimen because of this. Melanie quickly learns that he is cheating on her, and she also obtains a female's number from him, on which his name was also written. He continued to go to the casino and play games, and still made a girl his buddy. She asks him in the middle of the conversation the following day when she visits the hospital because a girl by that name had come to see her for a checkup. She learns as a result that she attends Bill's university. After hearing everything, she went crazy. That after spending so much time together, Bill was still cheating on her. Later, she also follows Bill at night and sees him with that girl. But she still does not say anything to Bill because she was quiet because of her children. And she did not want to leave Bill because of her children. For this reason, she knew that all these things would affect her children. And she was tired of her husband lying again and again. Also, she waits for him daily at late night. Now she decides that if Bill can cheat on her, then why can't she? And she befriends the doctor in the hospital. She wants to get mental peace because she was very upset because of Bill. But Bill did not know anything about this. He had gone so crazy because of casino games that he used to borrow money from the thieves and go to play, with the hope that he will win all the money one day, but it never happened. He had so much debt on him that he did not even deposit the fees of his children. He used to consume the money in the casino. Also, he was missing for weeks. And when Melanie called him, he did not even pick up her phone. Their relationship was going to break, but she did not want to divorce Bill, because this happened to her even in childhood. After her dad's death, her mom got married again. But she could not get the same love as she got from her own dad. She did not want to let this happen to her children. Likewise, now 4 years pass and they were going to get their second home. But how could this happen because they needed money for that? And Bill had no money as he was busy with his life of fun. One day, Melanie reads a message from the girl, who was Bill's friend who was with him at his university. She was calling him to her house when she followed him. Bill was about to take the girl, but she parked the car on the other side of the parking area, because Melanie had the other key to the car. Now, when Bill comes home, he gets very angry, because he knew that Melanie had done this. And he screams at her and he was about to kill her, but he does not do that. Melanie was very tired of his behavior. One day, at the hospital where she worked, she steals the doctor's papers from there that has his signatures, and she starts copying them. Now, why was this happening, and what was going on in her mind, no one knew. One night she dressed nicely in the happiness of her new home, and she spends a very good time with Bill, with the hope that her life is going to change, but nothing happens in this way. Later, the story is shown from where it started. The suitcase that the girl got when she calls the police. Then it is found here that even before this, police had found 2 such suitcases that had only one person's body parts. Now, in the last suitcase when Bill's head is found, then the police find out that it was Bill's corpse. Yes, Bill's corpse was in that suitcase. He was dead. In the meantime, the police go to Melanie, who was living at her parents' house. When she finds out that Bill is dead, and someone killed him in such a bad way, she goes crazy. Now, when the police investigate this case, after this, some different things come to light. That what had happened in their life some time ago. Later, Melanie tells the police saying we were going to buy a new house. And Bill was not happy at all. We had a fight. He also raised his hand at me. Later, he packed his things and left the house. She says that I felt like I would have gone to his friend as always. I didn't want to live with that man. That's why I decided to separate from him, and after telling all this to the police, Melanie visits the doctor and informs him or her that Bill is a bad man and that she no longer wants to live with him. The doctor was taken aback by what she said because just a few days prior, "I don't want to ruin the childhood of my children," she said him. However, the police also begin looking into this matter. When the police inspect their home, they discover that Melanie accomplished everything she claimed to have done after Bill vanished. After inquiring, she replies that we have more of these suitcases, but Bill left the house before we found them. He took the clothing in the identical bag. The police now also learned that a few days ago Melanie had also purchased a firearm, but the authorities cannot seize it from her residence. In the meanwhile, following interrogation, the gun's ammunition. Bill was slain with this gun since the identical rounds were discovered in his body. Melanie claims that he left with all of his possessions, maybe including this gun, and someone used his gun to kill him. However, they also learned that 2 days prior to Bill's disappearance, the house is still empty when the police check it. When the police discover Bill's abandoned car, which contained blood, Melanie claims that Bill had requested me to get that gun. Marks. Melanie tells the police that Bill might have been murdered by a thief. The police don't believe he ever borrowed money, and they question why someone would kill someone so ruthlessly for money. The deceased body has also been attempted to be hidden. This was done by someone who used to have a strong dislike for Bill and was filled with rage. Melanie, according to Bill's sister, was the one who detested him the most. She discloses to the police the entire course of Melanie and Bill's relationship. However, while having greater reason to suspect, the authorities were still without any substantial evidence. Following this, they began monitoring Melanie. The police started slowly learning everything after 2 months. Finally, the investigation reveals that Melanie had ordered medication prior to Bill's passing, but they also learned this information: that she used forged doctors' signatures. No one used to provide the medication to her without the doctor's approval because it was so harmful. The police make up a tale about what occurred that night after gathering all the evidence. We later learned that there was no altercation that evening. Bill was badly injured after she mixed that medication with his drink in the morning following the drop-off of her kids at school. She killed him in her home before taking him to the restroom. She then cuts his dead body into pieces and filled it in the suitcase, in order to make it simpler to pick up and carry the dead body. She then removed the deceased body from the vehicle and hurled it into the water. And she returned home after getting out of the automobile. She afterwards cleaned the entire home, however she neglected to take off her shoes. Because of the blood stains on her shoes and the corresponding stains on Bill's automobile, the police also obtained evidence against her. Now, Melanie was caught, and as a result, her kids were also taken. Except for her parents, who secured her bail and freed her, everyone was against her. However, the authorities were still unable to show that Melanie killed Bill. They lacked reliable proof. They also catch the doctors and her calls on tape, but they don't learn anything from them. Although Melanie was highly skilled at this game, the cops were also not going to give up. After 2 months, they reviewed this situation once more. Now that they had substantial proof, Melanie was given a life sentence. Melanie does not budge at all from her position, though. She continues to maintain that I did nothing, even if everyone referred to her as a killer of suitcases. This is a true story of Melanie. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, other people push us to make poor choices. Bill did this with Melanie, turning her into a murderer.